And so this time was very spiritual, and it was spiritual because we understood what was going on in the heavens, meaning with the stars and the planets and the sun. Hi there. Thanks for joining me with another episode of Still Growing. I hope you're taking advantage of this very spiritual time of year. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're a subscriber, you know how it goes. Just grab your seat. Okay, so this is a very spiritual time of year, and we are continuing to talk about African spirituality. And so at this time of year, generally what we're all doing is we're out shopping like crazy, spending money that some of us do not have. And we're buying gifts for people that some of us don't really care that much about. And to make things worse, we're actually telling our kids that these gifts come from Santa Claus, which is just madness. And basically what it seems like is happening at that stage is we're giving our power away. We're giving our power away to some guy in a red coat. So, instead of being so caught up in this whole farce of Christmas, I wanted to talk a little bit about what this season really mean and what it has meant for millions of years and what it continues to still mean to a lot of people. So in the beginning, over 6,000 years before Christianity, before Christians were had created the whole concept of Jesus, and that December 25th is Jesus' birth, really, we could go back at that point to African spirituality and back to Kamitan beliefs. And so this time was very spiritual, and it was spiritual because we understood what was going on in the heavens, meaning with the stars and the planets and the sun. And so what our ancestors were actually talking about is a mythology story. And the story goes a little bit something like this. You had a king, Asar, who his brother was very jealous of him, and so his brother, and I'm just skipping through a lot of the detail and just give you a little gist of the story just to explain where this whole concept comes from that we're talking about now in terms of Christmas being about the birth of Jesus. And so Asar was killed by his brother, and so his brother chopped up his body and spread it across the world. And again, this is a mythology story that was used. A mythology was used in order to help people to understand the concept of God, and because mythology is exceptional at being able to transcend. You're able to, once you're telling a story, you're able to transcend time and space and personality. You can just tell the story, and regardless of who you're telling the story to, they're able to understand the meaning behind the story. So it's not about the myth so much as it is about the lesson that is being taught. So Asar was chopped up and his body spread across the world. His wife Aset, hunt the world over and find all his body parts except his phallus, which was eaten by a fish. And so she gathered all his body parts together, and in order to bury him properly. And once she had all his parts together, minus his manhood, the Holy Spirit allowed her to become impregnated. And so she was a virgin. And the story goes that she was a virgin and she became impregnated by her husband. And so she had a son called Peru. And so her son was able to take over the kingdom and become a just and fair ruler. So that story then was used, and I'm sure you can understand the concept of using stories, because it's like when we go to the movies and you watch a movie that is a fiction, you don't come back from watching that movie and think that the events movie is actually going to play out in real life. But what you do take from that is the lesson that you learn from watching that movie. Although it's not a real movie, it actually teaches you a lesson. So that's the whole concept behind that. What that story was talking about basically is what happened in, as I said, in the heavens with the stars and the planets and the sun. And so these stories are actually relating to actual events that's happening within our universe. And so our ancestors were that intelligent to understand that between December 21st and all the way up to December 24th, during that time, the sun is asleep. And so during that time is when we're experiencing deep set of winter. And during that time, we as spiritual people are supposed to be are supposed to be having a very spiritual experience. And so the world over, before Christianity hijacked the whole time of year, the world over were practicing this time of year as a very spiritual time. If you go and you look it up, you'll find out that on the 25th, the sun, what happens is that the sun now begins to extend 1 minute every day onwards towards summer. So the length of the day begin to extend 1 minute every single day from the 25th onwards towards summer. So at that point on the 25th, it was considered that that's when the sun was born, the sun. And so all that whole story was changed around to talk about the birth of Jesus Christ in the manger and so on and so on. But really, what I wanted to express to you is the significance of this time. Whatever happens within the heavens, meaning the sun and the moon and all of that, all of that reflects on our body, and it reflects our mood. It reflects our ability to manifest. It affects our ability to be able to dream and our dreams to come true. And so during this period of time, while the sun is asleep and the night is longer, this is a time that we are supposed to be also hibernating. For lack of a better word to use, that's the time that we're supposed to be laying low. This time is considered, as I said, a very holy time. And as such, we're supposed to be staying away from certain things. We're supposed to be staying away from alcohol. We're supposed to be staying away from partying. We're supposed to be staying away from eating meat if you eat meat. And we're supposed to be taking this time basically to reflect, to once the sun goes down in the evening, we're really supposed to be you're supposed to be sitting with yourself and reflecting on your life and preparing your life for the upcoming year. And so we see this turn upside down, where at this time of the year, it's about shopping more than ever. It's about being out and about more than ever. It's about partying. It's about eating excessively. It's about all these things that are the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing this time of year. If you do understand who you are as a spiritual being, you do need to take a step back from what's going on in the world and take this time to actually figure out for yourself what it is that you would like to accomplish in the year going forward. And at this time, meditate on these things. So focus your mind. Focus your mind within. It's not a time for external. External is looking at the world as it is. This is a time to look in at your God within you. Not only are you supposed to be figuring out what it is you want for yourself, but you are supposed to be figuring out what it is that the universe intends for you. Okay, and lastly, remember it all begins with a thought. You have a thought in your head of what it is you would like to accomplish. You write that down and then you speak it. And then you behave yourself into that action. So every single thing under the sun begins with a thought. So take some time with your thoughts, with a paper and pen, and create your future. Please let me know what it is that you'll be doing this holiday season, or should I say holy day season. If you're spending it with family, I know this is a COVID time, and you know, in a way it's kind of good, because with COVID it allows you to just dial it down a little bit instead of running from one party to the other, and eating until you make yourself sick. You know, I remember those days when I used to do that too. But it'd be wonderful to see what you all are doing this Christmas. As I said, I hope that whatever it is that you choose to do at this time of year, that you consider how blessed you are to be in this time, at this time, experiencing all the wonderful things of being a spiritual being, experiencing the wonders of life. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Well, that's all I have for you today. Whatever it is you decide, my peace and love to you. Until next time, bye.